Wrong, wrong, wrong. Have you ever been wrong? And if you have been wrong, was it hard to admit that you were, or are you the person who doesn't like to ever admit that you're wrong? And I'm sure we've met some of those people. Here's an interesting question, though, when it comes to experts and people who should know what they're talking about. Is it possible that if you are a specialist, you've been studying something at university for years and years, you've got lots of qualifications and degrees, and people believe that you're an expert, would it be difficult, perhaps even impossible, to admit that you're wrong? And the reason I'm asking the question is we live in a world right now where there are lots of sick people, diseased people, people that don't feel good. There's something wrong with their body. They know that, they can feel it. They've either got an injury or they've got a pain or there's something that's just not right with their body. So they go to a medical professional, an expert. So they might start at the GP and get a referral to a specialist. And then the specialist says, you've got this, and they are diagnosed with. This is what is wrong with you. Challenge. Is it possible that the expert could be wrong? And the reason that's such an important question is the third biggest killer in the world, apart from coronary heart disease and cardiovascular disease, is medical misdiagnosis, where a doctor says, an expert medical professional says, this is what's wrong with you, take this pill, take this medication, or have this operation or surgery, and that expert was wrong and the person died. Not just got really sick, and there's obviously people that get really sick, but the third biggest killer is medical misdiagnosis. The reason I'm so passionate about this particular question, I would love everybody to be healthy, fit and strong, but sadly I live in a world, same as you, where people are sick, they're diseased, they've got stuff wrong with their body, they're not living their life to the max, but they go to a doctor and they believe everything the doctor told them. So my first question is this: if you actually believe that you've got to go to the doctor, and a lot of people do, would it be a really good idea, rather than be a consequence of medical misdiagnosis, could it be a really good idea to get a second opinion? So if you're diagnosed with, or your children are diagnosed with, or your partner is diagnosed with a challenge, a medical problem, a disease or an illness, could it be a good idea to get somebody else's advice to get a different opinion? Now, the reason for that, of course, is that medical experts disagree all the time. One person will say you've got this and another one will say you've got this, and they've both got exactly the same medical degrees with the same long life experience, but they disagree. I'm going to give you two very sad examples. A gorgeous father was having headaches on a fairly regular basis, and he wasn't feeling his 100% best. Finally, his wife said, you really need to go and see the doctor. So he went to the GP. The GP referred him to a psychologist. The psychologist gave him antidepressants and said, you're depressed. Within weeks of that diagnosis, that man died of a brain aneurysm because nobody tested what was really going on inside his brain. He took their advice and he died. This is a really important thing to consider. Humans get stuff wrong. Doctors get stuff wrong. Even if you trust your doctor, you believe your doctor, you think they're awesome, could it be a great idea to get a second opinion? Second story, very close to home. A young teenage girl, she's feeling tired. She's always thirsty. She's going to the toilet a lot, and she's just not feeling herself. She went to the GP because her mother took her to the GP. The GP said, we think you've got some kind of chronic fatigue syndrome. You're tired because we don't really know what chronic fatigue is, but we think you've got chronic fatigue syndrome. So same again, get some sleep, drink some water, and here's some antidepressants. I don't know why they put her on antidepressants, and that's of course the doctor's decision to do that. To put a 12-year-old child on a mind-altering drug because she's thirsty and going to the toilet a lot is baffling to me, but that's not me. I'm not a doctor, so I've got no right to have an opinion. Those of you who do have medical understanding, that little girl ended up in a diabetic coma in hospital for a whole week. She nearly died because she's got type 1 diabetes. But the doctor didn't test her for that. He said, you've got chronic fatigue syndrome and you should take some antidepressants. Now, these are extreme examples, but they're real examples very close to my heart and very close to home. the reason I can ask the questions is the same reason I'm going to ask you this question. You live in your body. It's the only place you've got to live for the rest of your life. If you want to live with health and wellness and energy, and you want to be lean, and you want to go and do all the things that you want to do, and you've got to live in this body for the rest of your life, could it be a really good idea to learn about how your body works? If you understand anatomy and physiology and body systems, if anything ever happens, there's two things. One is you could probably figure out for yourself very quickly what's going on, because you understand how all the body systems work together. So I have a real intense desire to understand the endocrine system, the central nervous system, cardiovascular, respiratory system, the skeletal and muscular system, the digestive system and the immune system, because they all work together to make sure that I'm a healthy, fit, strong human being. Now, you could say that, Rowie, you're an exercise professional, or you are the owner of an international fitness business college, so you have to know all that stuff. Yes, I have to, but I want to, because I live in this body. And I always use this as a bit of a joke, because when I go to an expert, and often my clients or my students or people in my life ask me to come with them to their medical professional, because I do the asking of the questions, the medical professionals will say to me, Rowie, how come you know so much about the endocrine system or the central nervous system or skeletal muscular system, etc.? And I always answer with a very straight statement: because I've got one. I've learned how the endocrine system works because I've got one. I want to be in control of my hormones. I want to know how my central nervous system works because I've got one. I want to know how my digestive system works because I've got one. But surely that's not just me. If you're going to live in your body for the rest of your life and you want to have energy and excitement and enthusiasm for life, I call it the 3 E's, could it be a really good idea to learn how your body works so that nobody can tell you you've got this disease, you've got this syndrome, you've got this challenge, problem, all the things that they come up with, and they're often wrong. Now, I'm not being disrespectful, because doctors are humans, medical professionals are humans. They make mistakes. But I don't want some other person making a mistake with my body because I didn't learn about my own body. I absolutely refuse to take a diagnosis of any kind from anybody until I've A, studied it for myself, and then B, I've got a second, third, fourth opinion. And again, I'll share with you a story very close to home where somebody's told you've got a terminal illness, you're going to die. Second opinion, yes, that other doctor was right, you're going to die. Third opinion, yes, that other doctor was right, you're going to die. Fourth opinion, how about we try this? And today that person is still living, even though 3 other medical experts told them they were going to die. I want to live with passion and enthusiasm for as long as possible because I love my life. How about you? So I'm going to study anatomy and physiology every day, and I do study it every day. And I want my body to be at 100% all of the time. But if I'm ever sick, or if I've ever got an injury or a medical challenge, if I've ever got to go to a medical professional, I want to go there fully loaded, fully armed with the best questions possible so they can't bullshit me, and I can't put it any other way, because sometimes they do. If somebody tries to put you on a mind-altering drug and they don't give you the list of side effects of that mind-altering drug, and when I do that list of things, it's a bit more like this long of a list, I don't want to go on any drugs at all, but if I have to, I want to know what those drugs are going to do to my body. I don't want to just accept the opinion of some person who lives inside an office, and this is going to sound very disrespectful, but it's not. Please consider this very carefully. If the person giving you advice about being healthy, being fit, being strong, having a body that works effectively, is not in shape themselves, is not healthy themselves, if they live inside an office and all they do is look at a computer screen and prescribe drugs off a pharmaceutical list, I find that to be very disrespectful to me. If you're going to give me advice about my human body and how to be healthy, I would like that person to know what it's like to be healthy, to be as fit and strong and energetic as possible themselves, so they can give me the best advice possible. So yes, I'm pretty tough to deal with because I don't put up with, go and take this pill, go and have this intervention, this is what you should be doing with your body. I want my body to be at 100% all of the time, so I'm learning about it every single day. And here's the interesting thing. When a doctor says to me, how come you know so much about the endocrine system, the central nervous system, skeletal system? I don't know very much at all. I'm just studying more and more every day. The more I learn, the more I know I need to learn. And isn't that awesome? That's one of the challenges I've got with medical professionals. It seems that they learn to pass a test and they don't learn too much after that. And this is the quote for that, you can have 30 years experience or you can have 1 year of experience repeated 30 times, and that's two completely different people. I want to be the person that's open to learning, is constantly learning, growing and getting better, and I want my body to keep up with me. I want my brain to keep up with me. How about you? So if you're going to live in your body for the rest of your life, how about learn about it? Could that be a bloody good idea? So you can sing like I do every day. Live your life to the max. Super duper doo. How are you? Living my life to the max. Woohoo! Check out the snowy mountains. I don't think you can see them this afternoon.